Hello? Hello?
Hello everybody, my name is Brooklyn, otherwise known as the TheDramaticOtaku, and welcome to my review of the Fnaf 2 movie. Now this is a sequel to my Fnaf 1 movie, and yes, I did decide to dress up as the puppet, and may I add, this is within the Christmas spirit. I have a Fnaf Christmas shirt. This was a very spur of the moment cosplay, and I have joys. If anyone says shit about my white face paint, it is a Neko Yanin eyeliner thing, and I'm very upset. The purple works though. Anyway, I'm here with my co-host, my adorable little cat Maple. Yes, anyway. This is my review of the Fnaf 2 movie, a sequel to my Fnaf 1 movie review video, and we get to talk about the good, the bad, the reactions, and my overall thoughts and feelings about the movie. And yes, I will be patting my cat like an evil villain that I am throughout this entire video. And she will be knocking the camera because she wants pets the entire time. To be brief, I will not be summarizing the plot of the movie because it felt quite all over the place. I guess the main plot point is that we've got a plot, which is Abby misses her friends from the first movie, you know, the animatronics, the ghost kids from the animatronics. She has a science fair. She goes to the pizzeria location of Freddy Fazbear's to find her friends, and then takes them to the science fair. The B plot, Vanessa and Mike have issues. I'll be so serious, I had no fucking clue what was going on with them. And that, of course, is the true plot, the overarching theme of the entire film. Charlotte, the puppet, wanting to take revenge on those who wronged her, who don't happen to be the Aftons, but rather the parents who didn't fucking listen to her. To put it lightly, the puppet is the main villain of this film, something that I'm not massively sure as to why, as the puppet was not the main threat in Fnaf 2, even though it was one of the new game mechanics in that game. And in the lore, to my knowledge, the puppet is supposed to be very kind to the souls of the murdered children and such, so to have the puppet be this violent villain in the movie was very interesting to me. I thought that the puppet in this film would sort of be like an anti-hero, helping Abby, and not the outright thing that needs to be conquered in this film. And I think the reason it bothers me so much so is that the main villain in the first movie was William Afton, you know, a real human threat. He is a murderer. He's actively trying to hide his murders. He's involving his own children. Even in the lore of the games, William Afton is always the bad guy. It makes clear sense that in the first movie, he is supposed to be the bad guy. It follows all horror movie tropes to a T. But to have one of the children that he murdered be the villain of the second movie and not Michael Afton, his son, feels a little weird. Seeing as Michael sent that team of ghost hunters to their death, who awakens Charlotte because he knows she's dangerous, who makes an appearance in front of Mike, and who reawoke the animatronics when Vanessa and Mike decommission them. Michael Afton, to me, should have more weight to his character. and he just kind of falls flat to me in this film. Simply because we went so hard on Charlotte being this vengeful spirit on what to me seemed like completely random fucking people. Why is Charlotte going after these people in particular? Like, there is two families that are gone after by the animatronics. One is an elderly couple, and one is a mother and her daughter. The elderly couple makes sense to me simply because Charlotte has supposed to have died when she was a little girl, and Vanessa was around the same age when Charlotte died. Vanessa is now an adult woman, so assumedly the parents that Charlotte supposedly is supposed to be very angry at, I completely understand them being a lot older now. So sure, she would want to go after these parents. But the kid and her mother, who the fuck are they? Because the mother looks the same age as Charlotte and Vanessa. It's never really explained, and that really fucking irks me. This movie just has some very, very confusing plot and just seamlessly random acts of violence. And I can tell it's because this movie is setting up the third movie. The movie, the way it ends, just like that, was so underwhelming and so infuriating and so confusing. The general consensus that I got when I actually spoke to my friends about the film once they watched it was, oh, that was the end? The stakes were still high, the puppet was still out there, and that is how we finish it. That's how we finish it. The main threat, the threat you have set up for the entire movie, Charlotte, the one we have been trying to fight all movie, banished but not defeated. And that's the thing that bothers me the most. The fact that you have set up Charlotte to be the main villain of the movie, and then you let the main villain just roam free because you had to have Michael Afton be this big grand reveal like he was the main villain in the movie, when you haven't set up Michael to be the main villain of the fucking movie. You set up Charlotte to be the main villain of the movie, and you couldn't even finish that fight. That bothers me so much about this film, and I feel the movie falls flat because of that. Now, don't get me wrong, I will talk about what I love about this movie in a second, but the first movie, Fnaf 1, I feel set up some really solid plot points to move forward on. That movie did touch on the lore of the games, but it did feel like it was doing its own thing. Everything with Mike and Garrett and how it was all shot and produced, I actually really loved. Whereas that was being sort of just spoken into existence in this film. And I understand that out of the adults, we were focusing on Vanessa instead, and that's why. But I was just left wanting more of that aspect of the first movie. And I understand that once again, the style is paralleled. That particular style of Mike's dreams with Garrett was paralleled with Vanessa. But I wanted it with Mike. I love that the second film follows very, very closely with the game lore. And there is so much to take in lore-wise. But in getting closer to the game lore, I think we have deviated from how the story was being told in the first film. And that could not be more evident to me than the Avengers assembling to save Abby. Why couldn't it be Mike to save Abby? Why couldn't it be Vanessa to save Abby? To, prove to Mike that she is a trustworthy person. There was so much suspense and build up to him or her doing so, and then suddenly they appear. Now, I understand that it was so that Freddy could give Mike the message of, oh, he's coming back. But Michael could have given that message and you could have had a really good villain monologue from Michael. Charlotte, if you wanted a ghost to fucking do it, Charlotte could have given him that message. You could have also had a nightmare sequence including the phrase, I always come back. Foreshadowing. But no, the gang had to instead come back and save Abby. So now, if these bitches come back in the third movie, I will be pissed. I feel there is just too much actual potential for this film that all kind of just implodes and collapses in on itself the further the film progresses. One thing that I really, really loved about this movie, something that I felt was one of the better aspects of the film, was the horrific potential. Now, if it wasn't a film that they knew kids would see, I think there would have been a lot more gore and violence behind the film. I would have loved to see some more practical effects with the head squeezing, or more time with the ghost hunting team getting possessed and murdered. From a horror fan's perspective, that scene was absolutely my fucking favorite, with the guy getting grabbed by Mangle and the other one getting drowned in the river, and obviously the main chick getting possessed by Abby. I wanted to see more of her body contorting and getting possessed by Charlotte. I wanted to see more of her body getting contorted by her getting possessed. But, and from a horror fan's perspective, that scene genuinely was my favorite. Now, obviously, as much as I would have loved to see more from that scene, due to the rating they were likely aiming for, and while the main audience is adults and people who grew up with the games and the game lore, you know kids will absolutely be going to this film. And I don't care how many arguments you have of this is an adult film, this is a horror film, this is not made for kids. Kids will be going to this film and they fucking know that. They pulled back where I felt they could have done more or held a shot slightly longer. But that is me expecting more from a horror movie series that I have dubbed Baby's First Horror Movie. And when I said that in my first fucking review, I didn't think I'd mean it. But, in my screening, there was a couple of different groups. I purposely went to an 11 a.m. screening on a weekday, on a fucking Monday, to go see this without a bunch of kids in the cinema because of my experience, A, with the Fnaf 1 movie, B, with the Minecraft movie, and I just wanted it's a fucking horror movie. I wanted an experience without children in it, and I got two groups of teenage boys yapping in one side, but at least with them, there was clearly one or two kids who actually wanted to watch the fucking movie, so they were keeping their friends in check. I had maybe 3 other groups of adults, and directly behind me, I had 3 at the oldest 12-year-olds, at the youngest, I think they were 9. And the only reason I can theorize that is because the second they came in and sat down behind me, one of them, in the sweetest child voice, said, "Golly gosh, that is a big screen." And I'm not shitting you, that is what a child said. So, when I said this was Baby's first horror movie, I really didn't want to mean it, but, it was. It really fucking was. During some of the horrific scenes, these kids behind me were shouting, "Oh my god, oh my god." So to say, I had a very interesting experience when watching this movie, having had, the Paw Patrol sitting behind me, and having a group of teenage boys yapping over this side of me. To say I was getting annoyed throughout the movie was an understatement, but I managed to keep it together. So back to my thoughts on the fucking movie. That was literally just to drive the point home that the reason they couldn't do more is because they knew kids were going to this film, and by golly gee, kids went to this fucking film. Back to my thoughts. What did I actually love about the movie? Because I've just been shitting on it the entire time. Every scene with Matthew Lillard in it. Holy shit, he absolutely steals the show every fucking time. I love him so much. I mentioned it before, but the dreams in the last movie from Mike is paralleled in this film with Vanessa. And there is so much brought into the story from that one dream alone that I really wish there had been more dream sequences like there had been with Mike and Garrett. I'm not a massive fan of Vanessa being labelled as mine, as we obviously don't know yet what this means. So it seems very ham-fisted into the story, like, you should know this is very important lore, and it's like, yeah, but I don't know what for, and it's pissing me off. So it's very ham-fisted into the story for me, but it's not the thing I hate the most about Vanessa in this movie. It is literally all of the conversations with Mike that I hate about this in the movie. I don't understand the character motivations with these two particular characters in the film. It feels muddy, but this scene, the dream scene with Matthew Lillard in it, chef's kiss. I love Matthew Lillard. He is such a domineering force in this scene alone. I love it so much. Speaking about actors I love in this film, I also love that Megan Fox played Chica. Fuck, I love horror icons being in horror movies that are not the original horror movies they were in. Fuck you, I am easily pleased. Back to Vanessa's dream. Other than Circus Baby being highly teased in this series, she's in both fucking movies, insinuating a sister location movie eventually. I just love the composition shot choices and the way William Afton is portrayed. You are mine. You will never escape me. I will keep you here. Especially with Vanessa actually transforming into a little girl because she's helpless. William Afton being right there when the doors open. It's simple. It is. It's very simple. It is. But to me, a very run-of-the-mill nightmare sequence in a film. But it is very effective, and I love it for that. I really wish we got more. Now is the actual fandom aspect of this film, and what I love about it. First, Mike actually having to play Fnaf 2. Glorious. I don't actually recall him playing Fnaf 1 in the first movie. I'm also pissed off because he didn't actually press the little lights on the air vents in the FNAF 2 section. Low-key mad that he didn't do that. As I said, don't recall him having to play FNAF 1 in the first movie, so to see him do it in the second makes me very, very happy. And on top of that, how that scene not only connected together a bunch of other references, but also had a very tense feeling to it, like either you were actually playing the game or you were watching a playthrough. Yes, there was also a lot of very prominent FNAF YouTubers in this film, and that I really loved as well. Speaking of YouTubers who are in FNAF, or who are in FNAF now, but who very much incorporate or have had FNAF be something huge for them, MatPat. I know people are mad because MatPat did not sound like MatPat when he was playing Bonnie, but I fucking loved it. Now, I was taken aback a little bit originally because, yeah, I was also expecting MatPat to be MatPat. But I love when people are actually fucking voice actors and don't use their own voice and don't give it the Chris Pratt treatment. I love that MatPat actually gave Toy Bonnie a voice that sounds like Toy Bonnie and didn't sound like MatPat. Maybe this is the one time I wanted a Chris Pratt-esque voice performance from someone, but I'm also very happy that MatPat didn't actually do that and is respecting the art form of voice acting. Of course, finally, as well, when we're talking about fandom and FNAF and YouTube, I love The Living Tombstone being the outro song of this movie as well for the credits. I loved it in the first movie. I love it in this movie. I really hope they do it again in the next movie. I know some people are complaining that it's just the Living Tombstone, but those songs were the most popular fucking ones. No shit, they're gonna use the Living Tombstone out of all of the FNAF songs. If I had it my way, I would have had them using Try Hard Ninja's songs because I liked his songs the most. But it makes sense that they're using the Living Tombstone. And finally, the actual namesake of this video, the Easter egg with the plush Freddy was fantastic. I had a good laugh at that one. I wasn't fucking expecting it, but I did have a good laugh at that one. Really, if we're talking about this movie as a movie, it wasn't great. I didn't like it. There was a lot that could be fixed, and if I had it my way, I would be fixing all of it. It was very clear they're setting up another film in the series, and I feel like films that do that always land flat for me. I really, really dislike it. The plot was really hard to follow between Vanessa and Mike, and there was a lot of potential not realized in the horror side of the film. I don't understand why the puppet was possessing people. The CGI was really weird. I would have loved more practical effects because, you know, the puppets are fucking practical effects. I would have liked just more of that. And I understand that the horror was restricted due to the nature of the audience. As I said in the first review, baby's first horror movie. But on the fandom side, I fucking adored it. It is probably one of the worst movies I've seen, but I really loved it. I love the actors that are in it. I love the fandom aspect. As everybody has said when promoting this film, this is for the fans, and if you are not a fan of Five Nights at Freddy's, you're gonna fucking hate this film. If you like Five Nights at Freddy's, I think you're gonna love it. There is just enough stuff in it for FNAF fans to enjoy. It did bring in a lot of the things that people wanted to see from the first movie, but to me, at what cost? That is all that I really have to say about the FNAF movie. Don't get me wrong, I'm bashing it a lot in this video. I had quite an enjoyable time watching it, except for all of the fucking children in the theater that were talking constantly. But I really enjoyed this film. I thought it was a laugh. I thought it was great. There was a lot of good potential. It just wasn't what I thought it would live up to be. I gave this film a 6.5 out of 10. I think I would go back to the first FNAF movie instead of this one multiple times. So, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. What do you guys think of the FNAF movie? What do you think about my cosplay? Don't say anything about the white fucking face paint, because it's not face paint. It's Nekoyan and eyeliner, and it's shit. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video for the ramble that it was. I will see you guys tomorrow for the next day of Upload Everyday December. If you did enjoy this video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.